Peter Gabriel, need I say more? There are few artists alive today that have had as varied and impactful a career in music as Peter Gabriel. Avant-garde frontman of Genesis, 80s pop superstar, world music connoisseur, actor, humanitarian and film composer, it's fair to say that Mr. Gabriel has left an indelible mark on the world stage, and he's still going strong to this day. At the age of 68, he continues to perform live and produce music from other artists as well as his own material. Not only that, Gabriel's oeuvre has led to some of the most iconic music videos of all time, many of them directed from his own imagination. So why am I making a video about him? Well, because I really like the guy. Forgetting the big hits and crazy music videos, Gabriel comes across as a very sensitive and shy person. So shy, in fact, it's actually a bit painful to watch him being interviewed.
But you had a pretty straight upbringing, right? Private schools and all that type of thing?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was strict, and music, although now, they're quite happy to acknowledge that we were present at the school at the time, music was only played by disreputable types and discouraged, so...
There's a modesty to him that most performers who have reached his level of success seem to lack, and all it takes is a quick Google search into his personal life just to see how raw and deeply personal some of his songs are. I first became aware of him in 2011 thanks to another iconic member from his former band days, one Mr. Phil Collins. But it wasn't long before I was appreciating music from his solo career. Although it's fair to say that his first 4 albums are a far cry from his later work, Gabriel's iconic voice and lyrical skills spoke to me in a way few artists did from that period.
Bring me something to take this pain away.
In 2012, his most famous album, So, was re-released in a special 25th anniversary box set, the first album of his that I bought, and immediately I was hooked. Holy shit, was it good. Not only was I hearing completely remastered versions of some of his best songs from the time, but there was also a 2-disc live album called Peter Gabriel Live in Athens, which is arguably his best single live performance, and for any die-hard PG fans out there was a 4th disc of tracks showing the development of each iconic song. It's not for everyone, but only serious fans would bother listening to it anyway. Despite So being his best-selling and most commercially friendly album, Gabriel was far from done. In 1992, he released Us, which is in my opinion his most touching record. Tracks like Come Talk to Me, Washing of the Water and Blood of Eden are some of his most haunting, especially when you understand the context in which he was writing at the time. And although it would be 10 years before his next studio piece, the 90s was a pretty hectic decade for him. In 1993, he released through his record company, Real World Studios, the video game Explorer 1, which is actually less of a video game and more of an early 90s find the missing music piece puzzle thing.
One of the things we do here is to get musicians from different countries to play together. Why don't you try it? Brian Eno's going to give you a hand.
If you put the right music and instruments in the right order, a little Peter appears in the corner of the screen to congratulate you, and unlocks a new area of the game.
We created this screen so you can try mixing a song yourself. You have 4 separate tracks of a special version of Digging in the Dirt. Play with the balance until you get something you like.
In 1994, he would release his second best live album, Secret World, which, by the way, has the hands-down best version of Washing of the Water on it, and would star in the short film Recon, directed by Breck Eisner, the son of the former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. You have no idea how weird it was for me to discover this, especially as Gabriel plays the lead role. It kind of reminds me of Catherine Bigelow's feature film from the following year, Strange Days, and surprisingly, he's pretty good in it. I haven't really seen him act in anything else, but as first times go, he did a pretty convincing job. And funnily enough, a year later, he would end up doing the end credits song for the Catherine Bigelow film, with collaboration from the French band Deep Forest. Then, in 1996, he would release another interactive video game, Eve. Yeah, in full honesty, I have no idea. It seems to be less of a make-your-own-music game and just more of a point-and-click adventure puzzle-solving thing once again, but at least the visuals are kind of interesting. And as the millennium drew near, Gabriel was commissioned to produce the music for the Millennium Dome Show. You know, the Millennium Dome Show. That great musical extravaganza heavily promoted by Tony Blair despite warnings from the previous government and current civil servants that it would become a bloated, overpriced vanity project too difficult to maintain and would eventually go into receivership and then be rebranded as the O2 Arena. Yeah, that one. Yeah, at any rate, you can give that particular record a miss. Although, Time of the Turning was okay, I guess.
In the winds blow across your face, they blow across your heart.
And then we come to the later part of his career, which, in full honesty, isn't something I'm as passionate about compared with his earlier work. His 2002 album Up has some incredible tracks on it, I Grieve and Signal to Noise being the most prominent, but I never felt the same connection to the record like I did with his previous efforts. Also, to my shame, it took me about 3 years before I realised that his face was actually hidden somewhere on the cover. I see you back there, hiding in those bubbles with your little shallow depth of field. Very good. And as far as studio albums go, that's it. He hasn't made an original album release in 16 years now. What's taking you so long? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the guy's lazy at all. In fact, he's been as busy as ever. In 2010, he released the album Scratch My Back, which featured covers of songs he admired from other artists. The success of it depends if you like listening to orchestral versions of pop songs, but hands down, his cover of The Book of Love is incredible.
And instructions for dancing, but I love it when you read to me, and you can read me anything.
It's a shame then that 3 years later the sequel album, And I'll Scratch Yours, produced by Gabriel and featuring artists who did covers of songs of his, has the worst rendition of Salisbury Hill to ever grace human existence.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill.
No! Jesus! Stop it!
No! Jesus wept!
And in 2011 he released New Blood, which was more of the same orchestral recordings of his earlier music. It's perfectly enjoyable, but I much prefer the distinctive sound the original versions of each track have. And then there's his fifth live album, Back to Front, which is mostly fun. In 2015 he also did a live concert with none other than Sting. Oh my god, I would have given anything to see these guys perform. Not only do I like Sting, but to hear them both cover each other's songs and take turns with the vocals sounds amazing. So you get the idea, the guy's keeping busy, and more power to him, quite frankly. Though a new album of original material wouldn't go amiss. Anytime now. I don't know if he still draws in the young crowd as much as he used to, and I have to admit my own music tastes are about 30 years behind the zeitgeist. But it goes without saying that Peter Gabriel has definitely left his mark in the music world. So thank you, Peter Gabriel, for everything. It means a lot to me. Sorry, just a little in-joke for us Genesis fans. Oh right, I forgot about the music videos. Holy shit, does this guy know how to do a good music video. Not only is his music iconic, but the visuals that help to promote his work stand on their own 2 feet. Before I even started working in film, I always appreciated and admired the amount of time and effort that went into producing videos, many of which have sometimes become more famous than the bands they were designed to promote. Forget Take On Me. Sorry, Aha, you know I love you guys. Forget Opposites Attract, Thriller, Walk This Way. There's only one music video that deserves the all-time top spot for greatest music video of all time. This is the picture.
Flying birds. Excellent birds. Watch them fly.
There they go. No, obviously I'm kidding. It's Sledgehammer. Perhaps it's a callback to his days as frontman of Genesis, where the visuals sometimes outshone the actual music, but Peter Gabriel has made some of the most innovative, visually startling and big-budgeted music videos of the 80s and 90s. And more than that, he had a personal hand in the creative design and direction of many of them, hiring artists from around the world to help him craft his vision. For his single Digging in the Dirt, he hired Catalonian artist Evru, known at the time as Zush, to design the artwork and clay animation featured in the video. In Sledgehammer, he personally financed the production of the video, created during the early days of Aardman Animations. Wallace and Gromit creator Nick Park animated the sequence with the dancing chickens, almost contracting salmonella after hours of working with the meat under hot lights. Shock the Monkey sees Gabriel in the world's most trippy office space, and Big Time would continue the Sledgehammer trend of bright colours, crazy visuals and multimedia formats. What's even more impressive is how all of this work was done practically when music video CGI was still in its infancy. Ugh, god, yeah, that. But don't think that it was all about big spectacle. One of the most touching examples of Gabriel's simplicity was with the video for Don't Give Up. He and guest singer Kate Bush stand holding each other while the sun slowly sets behind them. Aww. It's the best track on the album So, and the video serves justice to the tale of a couple struggling through an economic depression. Although there was a second music video released for the song, I really like the simplicity of seeing Gabriel and Bush supporting each other, both metaphorically and, well, literally. He would recreate this motif with Sinead O'Connor for the 1992 video for Blood of Eden, a song that barely charted in the UK during its release, but is easily one of the most haunting singles he's ever put out.
In the blood of Eden, lie the woman and the man, we wanted the union. Oh, the woman and the man, in the blood of Eden.
My favourite track off So, Mercy Street, also has a minimalist approach, but this time doesn't even feature Gabriel, instead visually conveying the sombre work of poet Anne Sexton, who chronicled her abusive upbringing with all the darkness felt in Gabriel's tribute song to her.
Mercy Street, where you're inside out, dreaming of mercy in your daddy's arms again.
From a visual standpoint alone, Gabriel's work deserves to be immortalised. The innovative approach he took for his videos during his heyday is a testament not just to his passion for the music itself, but in the overall presentation. Hell, his first 4 solo albums didn't even have names. He just wanted the cover art to speak for itself. But like with any artist, even the great ones are allowed an occasional blunder or two. Michelangelo allegedly had the pontifical Swiss Guard uniform design. Robert Altman had Popeye. And Peter Gabriel had Steam. Okay, so we've gotten to this point. I guess I can't really blame Gabriel, seeing as how CGI technology was becoming more mainstream in the early 90s, but holy shit, is this terrible! I mean, just look at it, this is god-awful! Never mind the fact that the song is quite a low point for the album Us, this music video is easily one of the worst, most haphazard, most god-awfully dated pieces of visual art ever committed to film. Now, I'm not saying that Peter Gabriel was foolish for allowing this horrific piece of trash to ever see the light of day. In fact, many musicians were using a similar technology around the same time. I mean, the Pet Shop Boys did it for their cover of the Village People's Go West. And even Eddie Murphy, yes, Eddie Murphy, did it for thankfully his last solo album, Love's Alright, featuring the hit single, What's Up With You. Oh, Michael, did you really owe Eddie that much of a favour? Really? But speaking as a fan, this video I simply cannot countenance. We see Peter as a pimp, a horrific CGI Adam and Eve clone, a rip-off of that movie The Lawnmower Man. Actually, I think that was released the same year, right?
The Lawnmower Man.
A male stripper, a fucking steam train, a reverse decomposing skeleton, a very creepy sofa, and oh my god, kill it! Kill it with fire! Ah! He quickly ages from baby to old man. Aw, that's cute. He thought he'd still have hair. And, whatever that is, a shirt being ironed? What? God, Peter, why? At any rate, Steam may be one of the worst things I've ever had the displeasure of watching, but that doesn't take away from the man's genius. At least I hope it doesn't. So yeah, hopefully by now you can tell I'm a fan. But what I've covered in this video is only a small portion of his entire career. There's a lot more to discover, especially in his earlier days with Genesis. If I've piqued your interest, give him a listen to. I'm sure he would appreciate it.
You want to come up to my place?